work, try to gain some exposure, try to be a great studio or a great artist, but do that in a way that you don't sacrifice your everyday life. You don't sacrifice your goals as a social being.
Hey everybody, Mark Arinsberg here with the Purenow Show. This is episode number 27. My guest today is Tony Zagoraios. Tony is a motion designer, creative director, and animator from Greece. He is the founder of Yeti Pictures. He's a very animated guy and was a lot of fun to talk to. Here we go. Hey Tony, how you doing, man?
Hello, nice, everything's going great.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being on the Purenow Show. We're super excited to have you on. Look forward to hearing what you got going on with your creative journey. So you're in Athens, Greece, correct?
Yep, in Athens, Greece.
What is going on in Athens, Greece right now?
Athens, Greece is fine. You know, the last years we had a few problems, specifically with the economic situation here in Greece was not very cool. From 2010, things were really tough for the whole business and the market, and we tried a lot. We survived finally, but as the whole world right now, we're facing a lot of problems, regarding the war near to Greece, Ukraine, and of course with the pandemic, disease and everything else. We're struggling, but everything is going great. I'm optimistic with all the things that happens around us.
So tell me about Yeti. Tell me how that started.
Do you want to tell you only about Yeti? Because I'm like 12 years in the industry right now. I will tell you something that I'm pretty sure not people are aware of. They don't know about me. Mostly I'm a self-taught artist or motion designer, creative director, or anything that I can do at the moment. So I think I started motion design when I was 26 or 27 years old. And I was a little bit old because I see a lot of people, they are starting like now, but 20, 21, or maybe 19, and they're pretty awesome, talented guys, Back then, like 12 years, because I'm 41 right now, back then, like 12 years ago, there was no internet tutorial sources, nothing, just some books and a very slow internet speed. So I had a child back then. I became a father very early, and I was a sales representative in one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies, which was totally relevant with design and animation, okay? But I always, I was always pretty close to artistic things because, I was playing guitar, I was drawing, I was pretty close. And there was one day in the early steps of YouTube, I saw a video. I think it was a video from Christopher Hewitt and Rob Chu. They had a studio back then that it was called Distract, I think. And I saw a short film that they did. I can't recall right now how it was, what was the name, but it was pretty cool. A little bit of After Effects and a few things in 3D, not like the 3D we see today. And I just said to myself, this is something that, I would love to do. And then I started with After Effects I bought some books and stuff, and then I was starting to do a few jobs, but at the same time I had my daily work, just because I had to pay the bills to support my family basically. And there was a moment that I did one or two projects that helped me to be included in the Vimeo staff picks and gain some exposure. Back then when Vimeo was a great tool to be on a platform. So I had two Vimeo staff picks and took some publications for my work. And that helped me a lot to start, establishing my name first here in Greece and second abroad. And then I took more work, and some projects got awarded. And then there was a moment that I said, now I'm able to stop my daily work, which I hate, and move on to something that I really love. So I took like 3 or 4 years of freelancing, and then I was starting to love working with people in teams. And at 2015, I started to create my first studio. Was called Yell. back in 2015 before Yeti. That was the Yell studio, pretty close the names. So Yell was a cool team, you know. We had a few projects that turned out really cool, and we gained some exposure back then. And as with all the studios happened, a studio that I had with a partner back then, Costas, but you know, people are changing, things are changing, so we have some, you know, artistic difference back then. So we decided I have to leave Yell, and Yell stopped to exist. So I left from Yell with my partner back then, Thanos, also known now as Motion Punk Thanos, and we started Yeti with Thanos, you know, like a duo. And we started Yeti in 2018. And we're starting to grow and doing some cool personal projects, taking some commercial works and stuff like that. And 2020, like 2 years ago, Thanos and me decided to not being together. So Thanos took his own freelance journey, and I decided, you know, to keep Yeti, of course, and move on and try to grow Yeti and, you know, bring more people, because back then when Yeti started, it was me and Thanos and one or two guys that were helping us in the studio. So I decided, you know, I love having people working with and bigger teams because I can take bigger projects. I have more people to work with, more ideas, more brainstorming and stuff like that. You know, I really love that process. So from 2 years ago when Thanos left, I grew up the team, like we are like 7 people right now, and Yeti is growing. We started working with a client from abroad, you know. We have worked with Elastic when Thanos was also in Yeti. We worked with Elastic after Thanos left. We worked with Framestore. We worked with Attack Plan, and with some other productions. We're working now with you know, Anchor Point based in US, and a lot of, you know, studios and agencies, and we're trying to expand our portfolio and our artistic vision mainly. So this is where Yeti is at the moment. You know, it's like a team of 7 people trying to do a lot of stuff. We're trying to have a diversity. This is what I believe is the key, not for success, but the key for staying alive, you know, really enjoying what you do, you know. A lot of studios have their own style, which I appreciate that, you know, and 100% with that, you know, I agree. But for me, I'm getting bored doing one style, so I'm trying to do a lot of different styles and different stuff. You know, I don't know at the end of the day if it's cool or not, because, you know, clients, they're not getting familiar with you with one specific style, but you have diversity. But you know, I'm trying to boost Yeti in an artistic style and a technical style at the moment, so we can get more exciting project and more challenges in the future, you know. So this is where is Yeti at the moment.
Let's talk more about some of your, let's say, successes and failures. Every client is a challenge in a different way. Every project is a challenge in a different way. Let's talk about a project that maybe didn't go so well, although you may have learned something from it in the end. It definitely presented a lot of challenges that you were not prepared for. What did that look like for you as far as maybe a growing tool?
There was a project that happened you know, the last month, which started as a great project from one of the biggest clients worldwide, and it started very cool with we did some great style frames, but as the project was evolving and moving forward, we faced a few problems when, you know, clients started to do some changes and client wanted a specific look. So even though we have worked like 2 months for style frames and art direction, the result when client was finally get into these frames was not very, very cool. You know, we weren't so proud of the result, okay? And what happened next, beyond the artistic side, is client put a lot of extra deliverables and a lot of extra requests, and Yeti had to handle 3 times or 4 times the final deliverables that initially was supposed to deliver. Even though, you know, there were some specific agreements, you know, I was trying, this is the difficult thing, you know, I was trying to find the balance because I want to keep the relationship with the client, okay? So this is always a tough point, a very thin point that you have to handle, because when they're asking for more and they're asking like 2 or 3 times, you have to handle them in a way that you won't sacrifice your, I don't know, the team, or you don't have to work 24/7. But since the client is big, it's huge, and since the client is the first time you are working with, okay? This is always a difficult balance. So on our side, technical side, okay, because I saw that if we have done a few things in our pipeline and workflow different, we would have the ability at the end to make all these changes and all the extra deliverables the client asked very fast. Because we started with a specific technique and we said, okay, we will deliver these videos, that's fine. We have in the back of our mind, maybe they will ask for changes, but we said, we haven't agreed for something like that, so we will do that with our way, with a fast way, let's say, okay. But they asked, and they asked a lot. So we decided with the team, from the moment we faced that problem, in the next project, we will settle up from the start of the project, or from the moment that we'll start the production, to set up a pipeline, a workflow that will be flexible, efficient, and we won't face any problem even if the client asks, for like 2 or 3 times the deliverables, just to be sure we will have a flexible technical workflow that we can change things, very fast, we can render very fast, and we can, at least meet the expectations of the client at a logical point, at least if he asks something that exceeds the deliverables, okay? So that was mainly a technical knowledge and a technical experience that we took from that project, trying to set up things more wisely and having also in the back of your mind, accordingly to the project that you have, that let's do it like that, because client at the end of the day, maybe he will ask for, let's say, 2 or 3 versions with different colors or with different backgrounds or anything else that they can ask, okay, let's build that from the start in a way that will be flexible rather than having problems when the client will ask it, because clients are clients, they can ask everything they want since they are paying. And if they are huge and if they are big clients, you have to be very clever and smart if you want to keep them happy and, be sure that they will come again for you. It's always a tough balance, So this is what we tried. We took some experience regarding the technical side of Yeti and how we set up projects. And from my side, I took some experience on how to handle some difficult situations with a big client and try to bring a balance. We can do that, but from project to project and from client to client is always a total different thing. I mean, you can set up a strategy with a client, but that strategy you're not sure that will be applied to the next client, because they are different people, they have different culture as a company, they have different vision, different targets, everything. It's not something like you can take that and use it like a manual for how to handling clients, but there isn't. It's client. It's very, very different.